Magwif, August of Falcher of Galer. Cúpla focal dus. Tá an chairman seo an ócéid seo mar chuid de chlár comórta a chuimhní an éideach séideach agus an fóblacht céad bliain ina dhéag sin. So this ceremony, this occasion today, is part of the 1916 State Centenary Programme. All over the country today there are various events and presentations and dramas and music, all celebrating and commemorating the 1916 Rising. The idea was, of course, that we look back on our 100 years as a republic. The state has invited everybody in the land and overseas to reflect and to participate in a range of historical, cultural and artistic activities. The word I want to focus on is what they also said. They talked about celebration, debate, analysis, and students, an active reimagining of the future. I think that's very relevant to all the young people, with apologies to the rest of us, especially to all the young people in the hall. They've invited you to reflect and reimagine the future. Now, that future is going to belong to a lot of you more than it's going to belong to me or others. What is this country going to be like? What are you going to make it? You're going to reimagine it. What are you going to create? What are you going to design in the new republic, in the continuing new republic? And how will it reflect what our forefathers intended? The future is yours. And we all evolve from our past. And I hope you'll enjoy and think and reflect on what you see here this afternoon. Because this is our past, and it's a very important part of our past. And as you reflect on it, you're going to be the ones who will carry it into the future. So I hope you will enjoy what's on show this afternoon. I just have to mention one bit of housekeeping, because we all forget. Will you please make sure, in fairness to the people who are performing, that your phones are all on silent or turned off. So now, I'm going to hand you over to Aaron Britton and Lisa Keenan, our head boy and head girl. And if you could remain, please, dignified, quiet, and I hope you enjoy the performance very much. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the staff and students of Coláiste Cholmcille, I welcome you here today for a celebration of a very important year in our history. Also, a special welcome to any members of Garda Síochána and the Army.
1916 marks a key moment in Ireland's path to independence. And today, Tuesday the 15th of March, every school in the country will mark the centenary of the 1916 Rising with a Proclamation Day.
Earlier today, we raised a tricolour that had been presented to 3 students who attended a special ceremony in Croke Park last Monday. Later in our celebration, we'll read the 1916 Proclamation and a proclamation for a new generation which has been written by the students of our school.
Now, without further ado, please sit back and join us as we travel back in time to deliver a dramatic interpretation of the 1916 Rising through music, song and dance.
And I played a key role in the 1916 Rising.
My name is James Connolly, and I am the leader of the Irish Republican Army and one of the 7 signatories of the Proclamation.
My name is Joseph De Bruyn, and I was an ordinary volunteer and IRB member during the 1916 Rising.
The 1916 Rising was the first major revolt against British rule in Ireland since the United Irish Men's Rebellion of 1798. Believing that England's difficulty was Ireland's opportunity, the Military Council of the IRB staged a rebellion against British rule in Ireland. During Easter Week 1916, the rebels succeeded in taking over large parts of Dublin City for almost a week, right under the noses of the British Empire, the then largest empire in the world. The 1916 Rising matters because, even though it was deemed a military failure, it had a huge effect. became a watershed in Irish history, the spark that lit the flame of freedom.
Did the men and women of 1916 expect to win? In my opinion, no, as I said to William O'Brien on Easter Monday morning. Bill, we are going to be slaughtered. I became involved when the Citizen Army and I were persuaded to hold off staging our own rebellion against British rule and to wait and join with the IRB.
As an ordinary volunteer during the Rising, Pádraig Pearse was a true inspiration to us, a poet and a scholar. He called us to take up arms. Pearse believed in the idea of a blood sacrifice, that in order to renew the fading spirit of Irish nationalism, that death and martyrdom was necessary. I remember I got goosebumps listening to Pearse.
There are many things more horrible than bloodshed, and slavery is one of them.
So we, the ordinary volunteers of 1916, went out that Easter Monday, hoping that by laying down our lives, we would renew the Irish people's republican spirit. I wrote in my diary, "Our time is Ireland's, and Ireland's only. Some of our fellas are young, but have magnificent courage."
It was important not to lose heart and to stay committed to our goals, especially after Good Friday, when the British captured the Ard, seized our weapons and ammunition, and arrested Casement. We clung to Pearse's ideal that Ireland unfree shall never be at peace.
When MacNeill learned of our plans, he believed that without weapons we were doomed and called off the volunteers. But I insisted we go ahead, and I wrote this in a letter to my daughter Nora. The call we then issued to the people of Ireland was a nobler call and a holier cause than any call issued to them during the war.
Easter Monday was fine and sunny. Dubliners were in a relaxed mood as they strolled about enjoying the bank holiday. Few paid attention as hundreds of volunteers and the men and women of the Citizens' Army assembled at Liberty Hall. We marched to various points around the city and at noon took over several buildings. In O'Connell Street, the volunteers and the Citizens' Army occupied the GPO.
Love.
Pearse, pale and tense, came and read to a puzzled and indifferent crowd the Proclamation of the Irish Republic.
Irishmen and Irish women, in the name of God and of the dead generations from which she receives her old tradition of nationhood, Ireland, through us, summons her children to her flag and strikes for her freedom. Having organised and trained her manhood through her secret revolutionary organisation, the Irish Republican Brotherhood, and through her open military organisation, the Irish Volunteers and the Irish Citizen Army, having patiently perfected her discipline, having resolutely waited for the right moment to reveal itself, she now seizes that moment, and supported by her exiled children in America, and by gallant allies in Europe, but relying in the first on her own strength, she strikes in full confidence of victory. We declare the right of the people of Ireland to the ownership of Ireland, and to the unfettered control of Irish destinies to be sovereign and indefeasible. The long usurpation of that right by a foreign people and government has not extinguished the right, nor can it ever be extinguished, except by the destruction of the Irish people. In every generation, the Irish people have asserted their right to national freedom and sovereignty. 6 times during the past 300 years, they have asserted it in arms. Standing on that fundamental right, and again asserting it in arms in the face of the world, we hereby proclaim the Irish Republic as a sovereign, independent state of the world. We hereby proclaim our lives and the lives of our comrades in arms to the cause of its freedom, of its welfare, and of the exaltation among the nations. The Irish Republic is entitled to, and hereby claims the allegiance of every Irishman and Irishwoman. The Republic guarantees religious and civil liberty, equal rights and equal opportunities to all its citizens, and declares its resolve to pursue the happiness and prosperity of the whole nation and of all its parts, cherishing all the children of the nation equally, and oblivious of the differences carefully fostered by an alien government, which have divided a minority from the majority in the past. Until our arms have brought the opportune moment for the establishment of a permanent national government, representative of the whole people of Ireland, and elected by the suffrages of all our men and women, the provisional government hereby constituted will administer the civil and military affairs of the Republic in trust for the people. We place the cause of the Irish Republic under the protection of the Most High God, whose blessing we invoke upon our arms, and we pray that no one who serves that cause will dishonour it by cowardice, inhumanity, or rapine. In this supreme hour, the Irish nation must, by its valour and discipline, and by the readiness of its children to sacrifice themselves for the common good, prove itself worthy of the august destiny to which it is called.
This was signed by all 7 members of the IRB's military committee. They call themselves the Provisional Government of an Irish Republic. Pádraig Pearse.
From death springs life, and from the graves of dead patriots springs great nation.
Sean McDermott.
I feel happiness, the likes of which I've never experienced. I die so the Irish nation might live.
James Connolly.
For us of the Citizen Army, there is but one ideal, an Ireland ruled by Irishmen and Irish women, flying its own flag over all the oceans.
Thomas Clark.
This is a new beginning. Our fight has saved Ireland. The souls of tomorrow will finish the task.
Joseph Mary Plunkett.
I am happy. I am dying for the glory of God and the honour of Ireland.
Tomás McDonagh.
God save Ireland.
Eamon Cant.
Never surrender to an enemy. Never surrender to his mercy. Fight to a finish.
On Saturday, the 29th of April, Pearse issued orders to surrender. The remnants of his command from the GPO were cornered. O'Rahilly was dead and Connolly badly wounded. A bullet wound to the ankle had turned gangrenous. Pearse sent a tersely written note by a command-in-command nurse, Elizabeth O'Farrell.
General Lowe, we wish to surrender to prevent the further slaughter of civilian population, and in the hope of saving our followers, now hopelessly surrounded and outnumbered.
2 p.m. Orders are passed for us to stand by as a white flag was approaching the end of Moore Street. This was found to be from James Connolly asking for terms of surrender. Instructions were sent back up the street for Connolly to come down and interview the commander in command of our troops. This was done, Connolly being carried down in a stretcher as he was wounded in the leg. While standing by, we came across the dead body of the O'Rahilly.
On Sunday, April 30th, rebels captured near the GPO and forecourts marched to Inchicore. As they marched, they were jeered at by Dubliners. Who were incensed by the destruction of the city, loss of civilian lives, and who felt that the rebellion would cost Ireland home rule. The rising was over, and 1,350 people lay dead. Over 2,000 civilians were wounded. A total of 3,430 men and 79 women were arrested. Samuel Loams was warned to provide a party of 48 men and 4 sergeants for a special duty parade at 3 a.m. the following morning. He was told that, as a special favour, he was allowed to go as one of the party as a senior NCO.
We paraded at the time appointed and marched to Kilmainham Jail. At 3:45, the first rebel, Tomas MacDonagh, was marched out blindfolded and the firing party placed 10 paces distant.
Take aim. Fire!
Death was instantaneous. The second, Porrick Pace, whistled as he came out of the cell.
Take aim. Fire!
The third, Thomas Clark, an older man, was not quite so fortunate, requiring an extra bullet from the officer to complete the ghastly business.
Take aim. Fire!
One of the most poignant stories of the 1916 executions involved the marriage of Grace Gifford to one of the 7 signatories, Joseph Plunkett. After being sentenced to death, Joseph sought permission to be married. Grace entered Kilmainham Jail on the 4th of May at 6 p.m. Her husband was taken out and shot at dawn the following morning.
Will they
Her gender.
I do wish you lot had the decency to shoot me. Why won't they let me die with my friends?
Connolly, who was one of the last to be executed, was shot in a chair in the courtyard of Kilmainham jail. He was so badly wounded, he couldn't stand to face the firing squad.
I wrote to my daughter Nora. I personally thank God that I have lived to see the day when thousands of Irish men and boys and hundreds of Irish women and girls were ready to affirm the truth, to attest it with their lives if need be.
Take aim. Fire!
Me more than any other. I captured this sentiment in a poem. You died for your country, my hero love, in the first grey dawn of spring. On your lips was a prayer to above, that your death will have helped to bring freedom and peace to the land you love, love above everything. My good friend, the poet, W.B. Yeats, who spent much time with my family in Lissadell House in Sligo, was deeply inspired by the rising.
In my poem, Easter 1916, which I wrote the September following the executions, I acknowledged the sacrifice of the rebels and encapsulated the dream that was born as a result of the rising. Was it needless death, after all? For England may keep faith, for all that is said and done. We know their dream, enough to know they dreamed and are dead. But what if excess of love bewildered them till they died? I write it out in verse. MacDonagh and McBride, Connolly and Pace. Now in the time to be, wherever green is born, all changed, changed utterly, a terrible beauty is born.
This terrible beauty Yeats speaks of is the dream of an Irish republic that rose like a phoenix from the ashes of 1916. And as the executions of the 16 continued, tensions rose day by day until there was a swing in public Irish opinion. And the Irish nation supported the rebels, and they became martyrs to the cause of an Irish republic.
1945. So today, March 15th, 100 years later, we, the students of Coláiste Cholmcille, have written a proclamation for a new generation as we remember the past and imagine the future.
A proclamation for a new generation. Citizens of Ireland, in the name of the present and future generations, we strive for peace and equality for all in our nation and a sense of pride in our flag. Our people should be entitled to a living wage and be able to live a comfortable life. New jobs should be created so our people will not have to leave these shores for work. No citizen of our country should be without shelter. All citizens should be entitled to a home that they can call their own and live not in fear. We are proud that we have matured as a sovereign, independent, 26-county state. We acknowledge the current status of Northern Ireland as an integral part of the United Kingdom today, and accept that a 32-county republic will only come into being with the consent freely given by the citizens of Northern Ireland.
We hope that one day our citizens can return home to our native land. We are proud that we have taken our place among the nations of the world, and are proud of our tradition of peacekeeping and the sacrifice that Irish men and women have made while serving abroad. We hold an equal status to other great European countries, and through our membership of the European Union, Ireland has contributed positively to solving 21st century global issues. As a nation, we are welcoming of diversity and embrace different faiths, religions and cultures. We want to preserve and promote our Gaelic Irish heritage. Our living language should have relevance in 2016. Our people should appreciate our rich and vibrant culture and have a knowledge and understanding of our past. Cheer gon changa, cheer gon anam. We are aware of our difficult past, but we are proud of how we have matured over the last century. What was once a broken country is now on the road to greatness. Signed on behalf of the new generation, students of Coláiste Cholmcille, Proclamation Day 2016.
Mural, which can be seen here today, was designed by a team of TY Art students and Miss Finnegan. It will be on permanent display in the assembly area, a reminder of the rich legacy of 1916.
Tommy on Brodul, our son Adalti. I'm very proud of our students up here today. It was a fantastic, just poignant and hit the note of the times that we're in it, insofar as we could recreate it here. And I think, could we give them a huge applause? Earlier on, I forgot to welcome our guests. I apologise, folks. Pure nerves. You'll have to forgive me. You're very welcome and thank you for coming. I'd like to thank a few people. Our musicians, our singers, of course, our actors, everybody behind me, the people who helped set up the hall, the people who did the wonderful work on the way in, the artwork on the wall, Mr. Beattie for the visuals that we couldn't see because we didn't expect to get such a lovely day. We're so used to the dark weather, but they were fantastic. I'd like to thank Miss McGrath, Miss Garvey and Miss Cool, those three people in particular, for what we saw up here. If you could give them a round of applause. It was their conception, if you like, it was their ideas that put it together. Could I thank Mr. Cronin and Mr. Feder in front of me, and Mr. Burkett I see as well, and all our